On this episode of Shaw Time, we're going to be learning how to make a charcuterie board with our local favorite, the Tiny Tornado. The Tiny Tornado is a food truck that services vulnerable areas in our community with free hot food. So, let's go check it out.
Come on aboard.
Alright, so now we're going to start getting ready to make our charcuterie board. Beckie is going to show us all of her things. We're going to prep and make beautiful boards.
And so my mythology, it varies. So if I'm doing nosh boxes for the food truck, it's a very different situation than if I'm doing like a personal one or one for a friend. And so it just depends on what's available and what's the most cost efficient on both sides. So when I'm working with my food rep, she's like, I can get this for a special, I can get this for a special. I'll pull that stuff for the food truck. And then when I'm looking at doing stuff like for me or for an event or for my friends, then I'm typically going to Harris Teeter. I'm looking at their Vic stuff. And if you watch the specials in their specialty deli department, they have a lot of good stuff that goes on special a lot. So like, I'll go through the stuff that I picked and why. Essentially, I feel like it's important to not put pressure on yourself to think that you have to spend a bunch of money to make a cool board or things that pair nicely together. So use what you have around. So here we have Stevie went and picked some strawberries from White's Farm. So I had that. I know I like to throw some fruit on the board. I bought some grapes. This is like a nice medley of a tomato. I'm not a really good garden person, but if you have anything in your garden that can add to it, I like a blackberry or any kind of berry really. Again, I always look on what's on sale. My neighbor is an amazing canner and she made me these watermelon rinds, pickled watermelon rinds. It's kind of like a curry pickled jalapeno spicy little chutney almost. Then this is just a Kalamata pitted olive. I love a pepper jelly and a soft cheese, like a brie. So I picked this pepper jelly. That actually came to me from Small Batch Goods. And then if you don't mess around with balsamic vinegar, especially the glazed version, you're really missing out. And a tapenade. Everybody loves like a little tapenade to add to the spread. So right now all I had was a roasted cashew. Like adding a nut kind of protein to the table can really add some nice dynamic flavors. So anything that you have that you can pull, like even a standard peanut can be a really nice addition to your plate. I love a table water cracker, especially the cracked pepper ones, which I didn't get, but this is what they had in stock. And then who doesn't love a French baguette? So I just love, sometimes I'll even cut them day before, set them out on the counter, almost like a crouton if you're making something like that, and let them harden a little bit to use. This is a softer baguette, but it's 2 days old, so it might hold up nicely for a charcuterie board. And then when it comes to the things I like to throw together, I spoke about things that are on Vic price. So they had some sliced nice Harris Teeter roast beef, which I love doing a meat roll, and I'll obviously demonstrate that in a little bit, usually with prosciutto, but the roast beef will work just fine. This is one of my personal favorites. It's just a really nice Elsa string cheese. And Havarti, you can't go wrong. Again, I talked about the peppered salami. It just adds a whole nother element to thing. I love a traditional pepperoni, but pepperoni can get a bad rap because mid-grade or low-grade pepperoni, it can just have a lot of grease in the casing. So with a nicer pepperoni, I do stick with boar's head. It's one of my favorites. I love a dry salami. These were on sale, so I grabbed them. They're just an uncured salami, and so they're already sliced, which is nice. I kind of like to slice my own sausages, if you will. So I have two different mozzes here. This is the marinated one, and then we have our fresh mozz cheese ball. We got a brie. We got a nice goat cheese with garlic and herb. And then the Havarti with dill, which is a nice addition to the standard Havarti, because like not everyone has a taste for the dill. This Cracker Barrel was on sale. It's not my go-to extra sharp yellow, but I love a 2-for-1 on the Vic, so that's what we're working with today. So first order of business, we're just gonna pluck essentially all the stems off the grape so that they're good to go, easy to eat. Because when you're making a board, you really want to think about like how you would eat a charcuterie board. And if you have like stems on everything and it's not easily accessible, people are gonna bypass it and then you're gonna end up with waste, right? So make it really easy on the humans to eat things. Again, the thing is with making these boards, you don't have to create like super large chunks of meat or cheese because the intention is that people build dynamic flavors out of various things on the board. So you want your product to go far, and in order to do that, I cut small, I cut little pieces, I cut things that make sense where it's easy to stack, stack, stack. So when I'm building out a board, I try to respect other people's dietary restrictions. I try to cut all my cheeses at the same time and then keep them slightly separate from all my meats. But I try to at least be respectful of cross-contamination when I'm working with meats and cheeses in the same vicinity. I'm just gonna go ahead and get this matzo ball kind of sorted. And I know I like to do my glaze, my mozz, my really nice tomato medley, and the fresh basil from the garden, which we'll cut in a little bit and we can add that in on the top. So you start to flip-flop your meat. So I fold it in half and then fold it in half the opposite way. So if that one's like that, then I pull this like that. This is a totally aesthetic thing, right? So you'll build this out. Just looks like really cute. You can stick a wooden, like, yeah. It's just a wooden stir. You can use toothpicks, you can use whatever you want. And then that you're just propping up.
Here is your final charcuterie board. We are going to finish off the rest of our boards with the crackers and the bread. But we want to thank the Tiny Tornado for hosting us today and making this beautiful charcuterie board. So here we are at the end of our charcuterie board experience. It's been awesome. One of the best things and one of my most favorite things is to pop a bottle of champagne with some of my closest friends and dogs. Ready?
There's nothing better.
Ready?
Ready?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Again, thank you to the Tiny Tornado for helping us with
And to Shawtime TV.
for filming this episode of Shawtime TV. It's been great. Hope to see you guys next time. Cheers.
Cheers.